primary focus is public policy with a twist of looking at how regulation affects markets, market products, and our clients. I think the biggest challenge when COVID hit was this pivot of working from the office to working at home. We have 16,000 employees, and literally around the world, one market after another closed and everybody started working from home. So key to that, business continuity planning. We have plans, we've tested the plans. You couldn't just wake up one morning and make that happen. When the markets went really wild, the first thing we did was reach out to policymakers, regulators in particular, to let them know we were working and we were available if they had questions. Right out of the gate, when the volatility hit, was work with the regulators, really reach out and provide market color, bring in our portfolio managers so they had really real-time information about what was happening in markets. The second part was we looked at could we use some regulatory relief. And in Europe in particular, we use swing pricing, which is essentially a bid-ask spread on the fund itself. In some jurisdictions, the prospectus requires us to have a factor and a range. And we wanted to go outside of that range. We were able to approach those regulators, and they were very much on top of what was happening and get relief to go outside of the range. The benchmarks are rebalanced every month, and in this case, it was also a quarter end. So you're going to have pension funds and other people rebalancing at the same time as any index products. And we realized that there's a very technical issue in that treasuries and other securities roll down the curve. The indices take a 1 year or longer perspective. So as those securities roll down the curve, they're going to be sold. And that's exactly the part of the market that the Fed and the ECB were trying to add liquidity. So rather than having liquidity get sucked out with an unnecessary rebalance, a number of the index providers were persuaded to delay their rebalance. And then in April, they came back and they did a full rebalance of March and April, and it went very smoothly. Risk management is part of our culture from day one. And when we look at this crisis, our risk managers work really closely with our portfolio managers across all asset classes. So we were able to have those people embedded in the teams. We learned a lot. We were able to recalibrate models. We also learned a lot about market structure. I think there are some learnings coming out of this crisis, especially in market structure, that reflect our risk management.